Good morning, beautiful souls. How is your day? I hope you have a wonderful day filled with magic. That was a big bug. Today's video, I want to talk about what are triggers and what are they trying to tell you. Everybody gets triggered in the positive and in what we call the negative. But what is a trigger? Why do we get triggered? Well, a trigger is when usually triggers are we experience them as negative. The positive triggers we don't pay a lot of attention to. You just get triggered by someone, maybe wears a nice dress or something. Yeah, oh, nice, that's nice. I like that. Or oh, that's a nice person. I like that. I like you. And that's it. You don't realize that that's also a trigger because it's positive. The triggers that we usually pay attention to are the negative ones because those trigger a reaction out of us that we don't want usually because it doesn't make us feel good and we usually do not understand also, and that's why you don't want it to get triggered because you start asking yourself, what is this? Why do I react that like this? And where does it come from? Well, your triggers, the negative ones, where you, in this case we're talking about the negative triggers, are, I talked about this in my last video also about shadow, but those are parts of you in your shadow that are quarantined and that are stuck there and that want to be seen, healed, accepted, and released. And the only way they can get your attention is by pulling in people and situations that trigger those parts inside of you. So you will get aware of them and you can work with them. But because we don't know that that is what's happening, we blame the person in front of us. Like, you are triggering me. You have a negative effect on me. So you got to go. While that person is just being of service. That person is just showing you where you are not free, where you're holding on to convictions, emotions, and beliefs, programs that are no longer serving you. And that's what the person is trying to bring to light to you. But we haven't been taught that that's how triggers work. A trigger is a reminder to show you, hey, I'm here, I'm stuck, and I need healing, I need love, I need to be seen, I need to be heard, I need to be felt, so I can go back to the whole. When you get triggered, because that's the thing also, you always react the same way when it occurred for the first time. Because the first time that you experienced that trauma, you reacted a certain way. And if it's younger use from your past, or if it's from a past life, or even if it's from your lineage, you in this now moment will react the same exact way. Why? Because that's what's stored in your subconscious. That is what's stored on your hard drive. And it only gets recorded once. but it gets triggered many a times. But you always react in the same way. And usually we don't see that as we see that as a problem. We don't see that as a problem until we start noticing that the way that we react is out of proportion to the situation that we are in. That's when we start to notice like, hey, why was my reaction so grand, so out of the box, so furious, so unnecessary rough? Because the situation wasn't that bad. That person didn't say such a bad thing or didn't do such a bad thing, but my reaction was all overboard. What is going on here? That's when we start noticing, like, hey, and that's when we start looking at the trigger, like, what's going on here? This is about something else. This is not about the situation or the person that's in front of me right now. And then you start digging, and then you will start finding out, like, oh, because then you start asking questions like, okay, when have I felt this before? When is the first time that I can remember that this was triggered inside of me? And then when you go back to that first time that you can remember that you reacted the same way, then you get to find out like, oh, this and this had happened. Maybe you were 5 years old, and maybe a parent or an uncle or a brother or a sibling or family member doesn't care, did something to you that you didn't like, that hurt you, and that formed that wound. And you said at that moment to yourself, nobody is going to do this again, going to make me to feel like this again. So you created that trigger, that response, that if someone triggers that in you, this is how I respond. But when you notice, like, hey, this is out of proportion, and you go back and you look at the situation again, usually you will find out that it the situation wasn't as you remembered, and that it maybe wasn't as bad as you've always thought that it was when you created that reaction, that trigger. Because a perspective from a 5 year old and maybe now a 40-year old is different. So when you go back and look at where that trigger came from and change the perspective, and even if the perspective was right, you heal that younger part of yourself by letting them know, I see you, I feel you, you are allowed to be here, I accept you, and I release you with love. Sit with that smaller version of yourself. Let him or her tell you what was bothering them. Let him or her feel your love and tell them that you will take care of him or her now, and that nobody will ever make her or him feel like how they are feeling right now. Because the thing is, what we do not realize and understand is that past, future, and now and present are all happening right now. Time is an illusion. All these aspects of you are here right now in this same moment. Everything is happening now. Your past, your now, and your future are all happening now. So when you decide to go back in the past, heal that part, you change your now and your future. And you've changed your past. So doing that for yourself, your smaller self, your younger self, and your future self, that's how you heal and open the path for yourself. So by healing the past, you heal your present and future. Hey, you two beautiful dogs came to say hi. You release yourself because everything what's keeping you in the past is preventing you from moving forward. And you can't move forward with things from the past holding you back. I can explain it as an analogy, like see yourself as an air balloon. It's just an air balloon with the baskets and the balloon on top of it, and those bags of sand that are around them to weigh them down. When you are flying like here and you want to fly here and you decide like, okay, I'm going to upgrade myself and I'm going to fly here. I want to get there to this level and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do this to get there. I'm going to get a higher education. I'm going to find a better job. I'm going to, I don't know, the goal that you have for yourself, where you want to be. And you're this balloon, it's drifting, and you decide you want to go up. So you start, you want to go up. You put more wood in the stove and you make more heat, so the more hot air, so the balloon will go higher. But you still got these lines, these ropes, because when the balloon is anchored to the ground, it can only go up for a certain amount before it gets pulled back because it's grounded, it's anchored to the ground. So you decide you want to go up more, and you go up, and then you get pulled back because you're anchored to the ground, and that anchor are these wounds, those traumas that are keeping you down. These anchors come from those bags of sand that are hanging on the basket of the balloon. So for you to be able to go higher, you will have to release those bags of sand that's all weighing them down. And those bags of sand are the traumas that are keeping you stuck because they cannot move. They are stuck there. The only way they can move is when you heal them. When you heal them, they become light. You loosen the anchor and you can go much higher. But for that to be able, you have to heal those wounds. You can't soar higher when you've got weight weighing you down. So your triggers are reminders of where you are not free, of where you have things to heal, where you have to take a closer look to discover how you can free yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's you versus you. and nobody else. Everything that you see and experience comes forth out of you. Everything you see and experience in your life right now, you have manifested that. You have attracted that. You are vibrating at that level. If you are in a situation or attracting things that you don't like, you have to go within and find out what inside of you is vibrating at that same frequency of that thing that you don't like, which you are attracting right now. It's hard. I know. When I found out that everything was my own fault, I wasn't happy. 1916, as I said that, or 1619, sorry. I didn't like that because it meant that I had to take responsibility for myself, that I had to do something and not the person in front of me. Because it's easy to say, you're triggering me, you are doing something wrong, you have to change something because you are triggering me. But no, that's not how it works. That person that's triggering you is just fulfilling its purpose. He or she agreed to help you in this lifetime to heal those wounds by deciding to be the villain in your story, decided to be the one that was going to show you where you are not free, where you still have some healing to do, where you still have some letting go to do. So the people of your life that are triggering you are being of service. They are just playing their part. And some of them are playing their parts very well. Some of them are playing their parts very well, but they're all playing their parts. I'm at the point in my life right now that I am grateful and thankful for everyone in my life that has triggered me to the point that I decided, like, no, I have to do something about this. I cannot experience anything like this ever again. I need to go within and find out what inside of me attracted this situation, attracted these people into my life. Them playing their parts so well forced me to turn the mirror around and go within. And look where I am today. If it wasn't for them, if it wasn't for them pushing me, if it wasn't for them forcing me to turn that mirror around and look at myself and dive deep and find out, okay, what is going on here? What is this situation trying to show me? Why do I attract these kind of people into my life? Why? When I started doing that work, everything changed. So I am grateful. I don't know if they will ever know. Maybe they'll watch one of my videos one day and hear me say, I am grateful for them. I've told them I'm grateful for them. But I am grateful for everyone and anything that has forced me to choose me. It was a hard road, but where I am today, and the peace and love that I feel within myself, and that I am now able to sit here and share my experiences and knowledge with you, is what I've always been hoping for. Maybe not in this way, but the divine works in mysterious ways. I would always say, you do not get what you want, you get what you need. And I start believing that more and more. I still have wants, but I am open to receive what I need. And I am surrendering more and more to have no plans and have no expectations of how things should be or should show up. I'm just letting myself be surprised and amazed, and it's beautiful. It's amazing. It's amazing. Now, if you made it to the end of this video, I want to thank you for listening to me. And I hope and pray that it brought you something, even if it was just a passing of time, even if it was just sitting here and have this conversation with me, listening me talking to you. I hope that it maybe brought a smile to your face or a new insight. And if not, it's all good because I am fulfilled with what I did here. And that's what I'm hoping for you and wishing for you and praying for you, that you will be fulfilled with what you do, no matter what others think or feel about it, but that it fulfills you. If you've made it this far, I would like to ask you to give a like and subscribe to my channel. Maybe spread the word to someone you think can need it. Can read this, yeah. To share this with someone who you think might need this. I love you so much. I wish you the best, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.